Okay, welcome back. This is part 2 of lesson 8.5. We're going to start with a couple things. So first we're going to do another example. We're going to construct another histogram like we did in the last one. Listed are the heights of players in inches on a basketball team. Create a frequency table from the data. Then use the frequency table to create a histogram. So if we look, here's our data. Got several data points. And we do sort of want to identify the minimums and maximums. If I look across, let's see, I've got, 63, and that's our smallest value, 63. And then it goes all the way, let's see, we got 79, and it looks like 79 is our largest. So I'm going to make a table that goes up by probably about, 3 or 4 points each. So let's do that really quick. Let's make a nice raw table. So the first frequency, I'm going to go 63 to 66. And there were 2 values total that were in that range. And then I'm going to go 67 to 70. And there were 4 values. And again, if you're wondering how I'm counting these, so 63 to 66. So anything between 63 and 66. So right there is 1. 63, 65, and that's it. So those are our 2. 67 to 70. Got 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you can see how I'm getting these values as I'm crossing them off as I go. Then we've got 71 to 74. There are 6 values in that range. Like this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then in the 75 to 78 range, there are 2 values, right? 1 and 2. And then in the 79 to 82 range, there's just 1. It's the 7. Now notice, 79 is at the lower end of this. Don't cop out and just call this category 79 because there's only 1. It still is in this range because we want to keep the same rate. We were going up by 3s for each of these. So continue to do that same thing. Okay? And now I can go through and I can make a histogram of this again. My frequencies are as low as 1, no higher than 6. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Don't really need to go beyond that. First category is a 2. Second category is a 4. My third category goes all the way up to 6. And then another one's at 2. And then my last category was just at 1. And then I want to label those as well, right? This is where so we've got 63 to 66, 67 to 70. And this is all a lot easier to do if you have a computer program. Make these histograms for you. 71 to 74, 75 to 78. 79 to 82 are my categories, okay? All right, next. Let's now estimate from histograms. We want to estimate the mean of the data set displayed in a histogram. So here's our histogram. So it shows us a bunch of data in these different categories. And so if we look here, the first interval is between 160 to 179. How many are there in that category? Well, there's only 1. So I'm going to put 1 in there, okay? So 1 times 160 plus 179 divided by 2. That gives me an average of 169.5. And I'm going to multiply that by 1 because that's how many there are. Okay? This number, that is that frequency. and that gives me 169.5. Now if I look at the next category, 180 to 199, notice there's 2. So that's my frequency. And the average in this category of 180 to 199 is right in the middle, 189.5. And I'm going to multiply that by 2. And that gives me 379. The next category, 200, we've got 4 there. And again, the average here is 209.5 times 4. That gives me 838. Next category here, this is the big one. Frequency is 9 times the middle, which is 229.5. Multiply that by 9. And for this one, I'm going to get 2,065.5. Then my last category is another one that's back down to 1. The middle of 240 to 259 is 249.5, or the average, I should say, multiplied by 1. 249.5. And so now what I do is I take all of these average values and I add them all together and then divide them by how many there are total, the frequencies. There was 1, 2, 4, 9, and 1. That's a total of 17. When I add all these values up, I get, I believe it's 3,701.5 divided by 17. It's 217.7. So a good estimate for the mean of this data set is 217.7. So somewhere around here, and this is the average is somewhere around here because we have plenty of values on this side and not as many over here, but we do have this one big one here. So the average is actually somewhere around here where that average would be, okay? And that's how we can calculate an average from a histogram.